Good evening, my dear students. Welcome to the sixth chapter of our science class, which is combustion and flame. And today we are going to deal about when does the combustion stop burning? You know that what is combustion or fuel? When does the fuel or combustion stop burning? So, welcome you once again. 24/9. When does the combustion or fuel stop burning? When does it stop burning? The combustion stop burning when the temperature is lower than the ignition temperature. When it stop burning? When the temperature is lower than the ignition temperature. Temperature is lower than the ignition temperature. The combustion will stop burning. And you know that what is ignition temperature? We know that ignition temperature is the lowest temperature at which the substance catches fire. The lowest temperature at which the substance catches fire. Then, so when it stops burning, temperature is lower than the ignition temperature, the combustion stop burning. Then, have you ever seen cooking oil catching fire when a frying pan is kept for a long time on burning stove? What happens there? What happens in that case? We are putting one pan on that, we are pouring some oil and we are igniting or we are lighting the stove. After heating for some time, what happened to the oil? The oil also will heat and it will reach the ignition point. At that time, the flame under the pan, it will suddenly, we know that when ignition, it reaches the ignition temperature. That means it is on heating, it reaches above the ignition temperature and it catches fire. Then, kerosene oil and wood do not catch fire on their own at room temperature. We know that if we keep some kerosene oil, whether it will catch fire on room temperature, or we are keeping one wood, it requires especially different, that means little more amount of heat to catch fire. So the ignition temperature is different. But what about the kerosene? If it is heated a little, what happens? On heating, the ignition temperature increases and on heating, the ignition temperature increases and it catches fire. And if a piece of wood is heated some more, a little more, a piece of wood which is kept in the room, which we are heating for a little, what happened? It won't catch fire. Is that from that we were comparing wood and kerosene. Does it mean that wood is having or kerosene is having lower ignition temperature than that of wood? So we understand that the ignition temperature of kerosene is lower than that of wood. So we have to keep, we can keep a wood piece anywhere, but we have to keep the kerosene in a tight lid or somewhere in a special storeroom. And activity 6.4, we are moving to activity 6.4. What is activity 6.4? It will tell more about ignition temperature. Activity 6.4, which will reveal more about ignition temperature. What is the activity? Make two paper cups by folding a sheet of paper. What is required? Two paper cups. Or let us move in another form, that is activity. Activity, that is we can write activity 6.4. And what is the aim of the activity? To learn more about or is to know, is it essential for a substance to reach ignition temperature? To burn. And needed items. What are the needed items? Paper cups. Paper cups. Or paper we can write. Or paper sheet. Then candle. Water. And we can light a matchbox. These are the needed items. Step 1 we wrote the activity, step 2 we wrote the aim, step 3 we wrote the needed item, and step 4 how to perform. How to perform. Okay, that I'll tell now. How we are performing the activity. Make two paper cups. We taken here paper cups or paper sheet. If it is paper sheet, we can make the paper cups using the paper sheet and pour about 50 ml of water in one cup. In one cup, we are pouring 50 ml of water, and another cup we are keeping as it is. Heat both cups separately. For heating, we required one candle and burning using one matchstick, and we are burning one candle and heating both cup. Okay, cup 1 and cup 2. So, what do we observe? What happens to the empty paper cups? Okay, observation. How to perform I have written. I have told you. And what is your observation? What is the observation? 1. The empty paper cups, the empty paper cup burns. And second, any other observation in the case of paper cups containing water? We know that it won't burn. We will get that the cup containing water heats is heated, and if we keep for some more further time, it will even boils. So we got two observation from that. From this we can give the task. What is our aim? It is essential for a substance to reach ignition temperature to burn. Okay. It is essential for a substance to reach ignition temperature to burn. So, in the case of first paper cup, what happened? It reached the ignition temperature. Paper reached the ignition temperature. But in the case of second paper cup, it didn't burn because the presence of water cools the paper surface and ignition temperature didn't reach. Okay. And let us study a new topic. Not a new topic, a new word. Did you heard that inflammable substance? Inflammable substance. Inflammable substance. Inflammable substance. What are inflammable substance? The substance which have very low ignition temperature, which have very low ignition temperature is called inflammable substance. Can you name some? Petrol, diesel, etc. are inflammable substance. Gas, LPG and CNG. Then that are also example of inflammable substance. Then we are going to a new topic, which is how do you control fire? How do you control fire? How do you control fire? If it is light, you will off the switch, but in the case of fire, what you will do? You will pour water. Okay, let us see how you will control fire. You might have seen in your media, social media, whatever, newspaper or the TV, you have seen that some places, the homes or I said in the last class, even one forest have been caught fire. Like that, the sometimes the fire may break out in a home or in shops or any area. What we will do in that time? What we will do? We will call the fire station. Okay, you have seen sometimes you might have seen a big Benz vehicle, red colored Benz vehicle moving very fast along the road. Okay, fire engine. Okay, you heard about fire engine, fire station and fire engine. If to control, we will call fire station or fire engine. If you call the fire station, they will ask how much, and they will inquire about that. And a fire engine will arrive, and fire brigade will be there. Fire brigade. Okay, they will extinguish the fire. Okay, they will extinguish the fire. For if anywhere it won't happens. So anywhere fire, big fire happen, what do you have to do? You have to call the fire station. Okay, the number will be in your mobile. You can call them, or it is an important number. So I'm not telling to call. Okay, yeah, when any such a accident happen, so you can call the fire station. That time they will come with fire engine, and they will help us to extinguish the fire. And the persons who are working are called fire brigades. And does your city have a fire station? In big cities, there are fire stations. Okay, and um, how they are cutting, or how they are preventing us from the fire. They pours water on the fire. Okay, mostly water is used. The water will cools the combustible material, so that the temperature is brought below ignition temperature. We know that if the temperature is coming below ignition temperature, it won't burn. So, yes or no? It will. The fire brigades will pour the water, cools the combustible. The water fuel it is burning, they will cool the combustible, and what happens? The combustible become cool, and it will come below the ignition temperature, and what happens? It prevents from the spreading of fire. Okay, and the water, while while water is poured to a fire, what happened? On reacting with the water vapor is formed. Okay, the water vapor will be formed as a blanket. Okay, water blanket around the combustible material, and it also stop the cutting. It also cut the supply of air. Okay, if water vapor is formed as a blanket, or it is formed, a layer is formed, so it will cut the supply of air, so the fire will be put off. Then the fuel to that means the combustible which is burning every time cannot be eliminated. Okay, for example, sometimes a big wood may be burning as fuel or combustible. Okay, but in some other case, for example, in a case of home, a house on fire, or in the case of a factory on fire. Okay, the factory or the house itself is the fuel. Okay, all are burning in it together. Different substance or different items are burning. Okay, so it itself is a fuel. So we can so here so it is said that fuel in most case cannot be eliminated. Okay, and we will study more about how we are the different fire extinguishers which we are using to extinguish the fire in our next class. And hope I think you understood today's class. Thanking you. Study well. That's what I have to tell you. Thank you.